Um, Hi. For those that don't know me, I am Anne Clisby from Denton Corker Marshall, and today is my absolute pleasure to present the Shepparton Art Museum, or SAM as it is typically known. I would also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we are meeting today, as well as the Yorta Yorta people of Shepparton, where SAM is located, and acknowledge their elders past, present and emerging. Denton Corker Marshall's design for SAM was selected as the winning competition entry back in design in April 2017, and the museum finally opened its doors to the public last October. The positioning of the building and the site was critical to our competition design. You can see it here as the red dot on the main road as you enter central Shepparton when travelling from Melbourne. It is directly adjacent to the Victoria Park Lake on an extensive floodplain of the Goulbourn River to the west. And of course, being one of the best, most obvious sites in the township, it was the location of an old petrol station, which had the most sublime outlook. It really is a magical site, full of tall river red gums that create this amazing dappled light that intertwines with the reflections and ripples of the lake. We knew early on that we wanted to preserve, to rehabilitate and to retain as much of the parkland as possible. So while a lot of the other competition entries proposed large, expansive buildings, we felt the logical solution was a compact building with the smallest footprint as possible set over the contaminated petrol station site. Shepparton is very flat. It sits in the vast Goulbourn River Plain. To be elevated in Shepparton is quite special and something that perhaps a lot of city designers take for granted. Throughout the process, it was the one thing that the community and the client were most excited about, to be able to stand on top of the museum and see their town from above for the very first time. But being tall also gave us several advantages. We were able to maximise the much loved park space by extruding the relatively small footprint over 5 levels to accommodate the brief floor area. We also placed what support and back of house we could underground and worked with landscape designers' urban initiatives to create bioswales to support the floodways that traverse the site and protect the adjacent wetlands. Being tall, the building forms a beacon in the landscape, creating a landmark for Shepparton, visible from a distance upon approach. It is a very compact building volume and almost perfect cube. From an envelope design and building services perspective, it is the optimal solution for a sustainable building and helps SAM achieve 6-star Green Star design and as built. We have been advised as the first art gallery or museum in Australia to achieve this rating, as this building type is typically so energy hungry in operation. We wanted SAM to be viewed in the round, a building with 4 equal frontages, no front and backside, no obvious back of house. You needed to read as a piece of sculpture, engaging from every direction. The surrounding landscape provided plenty of design inspiration. Majestic river gum trees as singular sculptural objects in a flat plain, their height surprisingly comparable to our 5-storey building. With beauty through detail and richness in tone and materiality. Our strongest inspiration came from Australian art, but also from the unique feeling of walking down the main street of our country towns. The large overhanging verandas that provide shelter and shade, and a communal space that encourages people to stop, chat and connect, intrinsically important as a backdrop for rural and regional communities. But how to turn the form and contrast of light and shade created by the iconic outback veranda into a piece of sculpture, like these Richard Serra installations in the Qatari desert, so impossibly thin and monolithic. So a conversation started about abstract floating plates and verandas in the landscape, creating the beginning of a section, which when viewed as an elevation creates a suspended object or canvas, which in itself provides a base for projections or temporary installations overlaid onto texture and colour to create one side of the cube. The L-shaped plates come together at different heights depending on their location and function. Each elevation is a frontage for a particular element of the brief, which combine to create a singular object of floating canopies, with the interstitial spaces below providing shade and shelter and a place to meet. The whole composition provides an identity for SAM and Shepparton. While each elevation signals a different function through materiality and colour, creating a composition of abstract sculptural elements so the scale becomes indeterminate. The facade plates include very few windows. Little daylight is desired for the galleries proper. In contrast, the central galleria, a transitional exhibition space, is strongly connected to the landscape through two large windows on the east and west facades, deliberately positioned to draw visitors into the building on arrival and connect back to the lake and landscape from within. This is the ground floor level, SAM entrance on the right, facing the main road to town, visitor information to the south, Kaiela Arts, an Indigenous arts community group on the west, with direct connection to the park and wetlands, and plant and backward house embedded below the art hill to the north. The next level up has the cafe connecting to the top of the art hill, providing the fourth frontage, the central galleria and first proper gallery spaces. While the entire building envelope has been designed to air tightness levels to reduce air leakage, the particular focus is on the two large gallery spaces here on level 1 and level 2, and the art storage space on level 3. Using passive house principles, we achieved an air leakage rate of less than 2 metres cubed per hour per metre squared, compared to the BCA requirements of 5. The zoning of the interiors into carefully conditioned spaces and those that are designed for a more relaxed range of temperatures and humidity control, such as this central galleria, assists with the energy demands of the museum. Galleries 1 and 2 are fitted with sliding doors to allow an exhibition environment which achieves an AA rating, enabling premium artworks from around the world to be displayed and stored in Shepparton. The reduced material palette consistent through the museum celebrates local references. Acoustic perforations in the boardroom mirror the external perforations in the facade cladding. Spacecraft Studios collaborated with Kaiela Arts and introduced emerging Indigenous artists from Shepparton to screen printing technologies to create the fabrics used in the upholstery for the furniture. Our client, Shepparton City Council, developed a reconciliation action plan specifically for the project as part of the Green Star accreditation. A campfire ceremony was held on site where a reclaimed gum tree from the site was burned to create charcoal pigment dyes for the screen printing of the fabrics. Every material and furniture item selected has a reasonable story, right down from rather great cowhide rugs to represent the farming community. Level 4 houses the service front as well as the library for Friends of Sam, and then an event space with a large terrace, which faces west, allowing the community to gather and watch the sunset over the lake and wetlands, providing many residents with their first aerial view of the town. And back to the ground level, where the building is settling into the maturing landscape and being embraced by the community. This project is a testament to the vision of our clients and collaborators from SAM, the Shepparton Art Council, through to the Kaiela artists, local water people, and the greater Shepparton community. Thank you.